2026, we have a pretty awesome match on our hands between two teams meeting up in the losers bracket for the semifinals. It's going to be United Kingdom versus Brazil. My name is Liliana. I also go by It's Pigeon, and joining me in the casting booth, we've got Will Wham. How are we feeling about this matchup today?
I am really excited for this one. I can't lie. I think these two teams are two teams that have been making pretty heavy waves in the tournaments thus far. I'm particularly looking at the UK here, who have gone up against teams like Russia and Canada and have put up exceptionally good fights against those teams, losing tiebreaker against Russia and losing tiebreaker, winning tiebreaker against Russia and losing tiebreaker against Canada. So arguably Brazil should be quite a step down, I think, in terms of their toughest opponents faced so far. Meanwhile, Brazil, unfortunately got knocked down to losers bracket in the round of 16 by France, but they've been working their way through the losers bracket and have come to probably face their toughest opponent. Yeah, I have to say, I think United Kingdom is certainly going to be a step above their previous opponents in Hong Kong and Poland. But, in theory, Brazil is very much the higher seed on paper. So we're just going to see how this one goes. I am very much excited for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be super awesome. Of course, United Kingdom had to make their way through the group stage. Brazil did not. They qualified, I believe, eighth seed, so they didn't have to play the group stage. And yeah, as you mentioned, they did drop down to that losers bracket in that first round of 16. United Kingdom, I mean, it's really hard not to mention just how well both these two teams are playing, but specifically United Kingdom going up against Canada, which we just earlier saw Canada beat United States 6-1, and the fact that United Kingdom was able to take them to that tiebreaker is very, very impressive. But we're already getting underway with the pick spans and protects here. Brazil choosing to protect that DT2, that makes 100% sense. They have protected that in almost every single match that they've played so far. They are just very strong on the DT2s. In fact, last week they ended up 4-way FCing the previous DT2, and the protect for DT4 from the United Kingdom on that more triple heavy DT map. And for bans, it's going to be double hidden ban from Brazil, hidden 1, hidden 3, leaving open that lower AR hidden, which is understandable. They do have some very, very strong hidden players, and specifically Kawa, who has just overall been the highest performing player for Brazil across all hiddens and hard rocks. Just a very, very solid player. But this United Kingdom team is very scary. 4 players that can very easily handle any of the hidden maps, any of the gimmick stuff as well, as we do see that No Mod 2 and the Free Mod 1 bans coming through from them versus Brazil, who is very much more mechanics forward.
Yeah, I mean, this matchup, is going to be a pretty common one that you see in a lot of OC tournaments. You're going to be, on one side you have UK, who's kind of the control demons, loves their control, loves the hidden pool especially, versus Brazil, who's much, much stronger on the tapping mechanics. And as you mentioned, you see this in the bans. The No Mod 2, Free Mod 1, very, very expected to come out from UK here. And Brazil, honestly, taking out the hidden 1 and hidden 3 strikes me a little bit weird, actually. I feel a bit weird that they're leaving the hidden 2 open, given that UK has just such a strong gimmick roster. And also, I feel like they would want to ban out more of the control. I'm looking at maybe stuff like the No Mod 3, No Mod 4, Hard Rock 3 even, that they could have potentially taken out, but they've decided to go with the hidden 1 and the hidden 3, which in fairness are still very, very good bans. And I think UK would have definitely beat them on those sorts of maps just because of the hidden mod and just by their nature of being, your snap control and your really awkward slider messy, awkward aim map. So yeah, I think pretty expected bans coming out from both sides here. And we're jumping into UK's first pick right now. We're going straight into the No Mod 3. UK going straight for what they're good at, going right into the No Mod control.
Yep, into what is the first custom of many that I hope that we'll be able to see this weekend in this match. But this is going to be a Bowden custom here in the No Mod 3. It's got some finger control to it. It's got a lot of jank. I mean, it's Bowden. If you're familiar with their mapping style, then it is very much recognizable. But pretty alt heavy, of course, being in that No Mod 3 slot. And I think that this pick is actually really solid for United Kingdom. Specifically because they have looked so good on the alt-heavy skill sets that we've seen across the other various pools. But yeah, I think that's also part of the reason why that Hidden 3 was banned by Brazil, because it is very much an alt-heavy map that I think they recognize United Kingdom's strength on. But here we go, map number 1. We've got Shimui, Wiggler, Uma, and Humster for United Kingdom. Kawa, Storm, Sunda, and Ketsui going to be your lineup for Brazil.
And yeah, as we get into this map, you kind of see what this No Mod 3 is about, right? It's got quite a lot of elements. It's got these sort of linear ulti patterns, and there's also going to be some rhythmy finger control patterns later on the map. And as we start off, we see a couple of pretty early breaks, 2 from each side. Umaroth, Wiggler, Sunda, and Storm K going down for each side, leading 2 FCs 2-2 right now, but that score lead is in the favor of Brazil right now. But with Katsuro finding the break, it's gonna start going to United Kingdom side.
Yeah, it's still gonna be fairly close between these two teams. I think just a couple of act drops on the side of United Kingdom really is the reason why that score didn't instantly swap the moment Katsui dropped their FC. But now more misses coming through from Brazil on Storm. An unfortunate spot to find those misses because nobody else is trading them anywhere, and the recovery combos are really starting to build up for United Kingdom on the players that had missed, and it's still 2 FCs to 1 right now, so the score lead is going to start to get a little bit out of control so long as they hold on to the combos. With that, Shimui going to be dropping their combo now. It will trade with Storm, but that was a player who'd already missed as we get into the 1-6 sections here with a little bit more finger control.
Yeah, but with Kura finding the break for Brazil there, that's going to give UK a pretty significant combo advantage. And Asunda, the last large combo for Brazil, falls. And with 3 massive combos still left on Wiggler, Umaroth, and Humsterdal, they're just going to be skyrocketing this score lead to their side. 350k and counting with just 1/3 of the map left to go. And as bricks litter the screen, I mean, I don't think there's much Brazil can do here. Even if the entire UK roster finds a miss there on those tricky patterns there, I mean, they've just built up such a large score buffer that there's really nothing Brazil can do to take this No Mod 3 pick. And I think, I mean, I don't want to call it too early, but I think UK have got this pick very comfortably in the bag. A very, very solid opening pick here.
Yeah, no, I think it's very safe to call it, actually, about when you did. 380k, I think you was at about 1/3 of the map, and it's not moved at all. In fact, it's actually continued to increase in favor of the United Kingdom here as we come to the close of this map, and they will be securing their first point. And yeah, this team, I mean, they are very, very solid when it comes to these alt-heavy maps, and especially the more janky the map, I think the better United Kingdom really shine on it. And yeah, these players, I mean, this is a really solid team score from United Kingdom. Brazil, they had a couple of solid combos going into about the first half of the map, but yeah, nobody that was quite able to match a lot of the combos on United Kingdom. I mean, just overall better team score here for UK.
Yeah, it's just all about that team consistency, right? I mean, there were scores on Brazil that were able to match United Kingdom, but United Kingdom as a roster just has consistently good team scores, right? They have those consistent 500Ks from all of their members, and to be able to put up that performance on a map like this is just so key, right? And I think that opens quite a lot of doors for United Kingdom, right? I mean, they were already pretty solidly into the control of this pool, and I think that's just gonna be what they keep going in for, right? There's still stuff like No Mod 4, DT3 even, Free Mod 3, Hard Rock 3. There's plenty of this pool that's wide open for them with winning this No Mod 3 pick. But now it's going to be Brazil to respond with their first pick, and I think we've been kind of talking about it, right? It's gonna be something mechanics heavy, right? I think there's quite a lot in this pool that they could go for, but I think one thing to know is that there isn't a lot of tapping mechanics that they can really go for here, right? All of the tapping has kind of been blocked out by the UK, here banning out that no mod 2 and the free mod 1, so I would expect them maybe to go with something more aim heavy, and they do in fact go into the DT1 here.
Yeah, I'm actually not too surprised by this pick for them. They, as you said, and they do tend to favor more into picking the higher BPM, more mechanics forward maps. And really the only map that's available that kind of meets those skill sets right now is that DT2. Of course, the DT3, I mean, it does feature a lot of difficulty in terms of, how comfortable you need to be at being able to play a lot of that finger control. But you mentioned it already, United Kingdom, I mean, there's a reason why every single DT map was left open. I think both these teams recognize that, yeah, Brazil does enjoy the higher mechanics, so like that DT2 protect, of course, makes so much sense. We've seen it from them all tournament long, but United Kingdom, I mean, like, they protected DT4, and they left the other two available DTs open in their ban phase, so like, they're not scared of the DTs, and specifically this DT1, while I do think it's a great first pick for Brazil, it's mostly just aim, and United Kingdom can play aim. They are a very solid team.
I mean, yeah, while this is aim, as with pretty much all of our DT1s in the past, I do think this one is a pretty big step up, notably in the BPM department, right? This one, last week we had, I think 236 BPM in AR check. This one, obviously still featuring that AR 10.3, but this one goes all the way up to 270 BPM, and to be able to aim these fast 270 BPM jumps consistently is really hard. Not to mention when the map is so short that a lot of misses are going to matter. Being consistent on this sort of map is just going to be a real challenge for these players, and as we get into this opening section of the DT1 here, already a bunch of players are finding misses. 3 breaks for the side of UK and just 1 on the side of Brazil there. They're going to be taking that early score lead, and there's a pretty slow section here. We're going to have to wait until the next off Ki, really, until we get more of those wide jumps that I think will catch most of these players off.
Yeah, just off to a little bit of a rough start here. This map really does kind of just go right into the swing of things in the beginning. Big jumps already kind of showing you what it's all about. This Ki, it feels a lot more calm, but like the jumps are still difficult, and we do see Shamui going to be dropping combo. First one to drop in this Ki. No trades to be seen from the other side, but Storm will be missing right at the very tail end of that Ki, so it's not going to matter too much. And now with Kakirim going to be dropping their combo as well. It does trade with nukes, but it's still a 240,000 point lead in favor of Brazil, and they do have 2 FCs to 1 and almost another in Wiggler, but Silva going to be dropping their FC now, and is going to be traded out by Simabuko, who was on that FC, but it's now Kawa versus Wiggler, and Kawa drops the combo. Hold on, this is a potential opening for United Kingdom to bring it back.
Yeah, as all those combos fall for the side of Brazil, and Wiggler, the only one the UK roster to hold. I mean, it might be doable, but there's not a lot of time in this map at all, and that is a 225 score lead that she needs to bring back. I don't know if it's gonna go back fast enough. This map is not really dense, and I mean, we'll just have to see. It's going down and down and down. 80k, 60k, 50k. It might just go back, actually. Hang on. Wiggler is still holding that FC, and she just about manages to bring that score lead back by an inch. Just 16k. But she manages to do it, and that is going to be a break point on Brazil's first DT1 pick. Wow. What an absolutely amazing performance there for Wiggler.
Yeah, I mean, just the reverse choke. That one missed at the very beginning of the map, but the highest combo in the lobby by far. I think Kakirim going into that very final last section of the map had like something like 300 combo, unfortunately missed, and I do think that was the deciding factor for Brazil losing on their first pick here. You know, yes, we did see such an incredible score come out from Wiggler on that DT1, but it's still it was like 16,000 points. So like even if one of those players on Brazil was able to just hold on to their combo, which unfortunately they weren't, but I mean if just one had, then the potential to have this match be 1-1 instead of a 2-0 on a breakpoint is a lot higher than I think is might appear. Now United Kingdom, are we gonna see them go back into that no mod pool? That no mod 4 looking kind of enticing, but normally when you get that break point, consolidating on it with a protect is generally the way to go, and then I would expect them to potentially go into that DT4 to try to get themselves up 3-0 very quickly.
I mean, I don't know. I always think that Protect should be used pretty lit, especially when you're in this very advantageous position. But you're absolutely right. They are going to be going straight into the Protect. They're going into the DT4. And actually, I didn't really have time to talk about this Protect from the UK. And honestly, I'm not sure of this one, to be honest. I think the thing about this DT4 is that there's a very prominent tapping element to it, right? Obviously, it's going to be testing the low AR and your sort of aim control on the DT a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be inaccessible enough to Brazil to justify UK protecting this, unless UK have just an absolutely insane team score on this, which I wouldn't be shocked at all. I think it is one of the more accessible maps of the pool. But I'm not sure, honestly. I'm a little bit curious as to why UK ended up protecting this, and maybe we'll find out once this map actually gets played.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with you, OM. This map, more than anything, I mean, I think Brazil definitely will be able to put forward 3, maybe 4 really solid scores. I mean, I mentioned it already in one of the matches last week for Brazil. They won on a DT2 with a 4-way FC, and it was like 1.1 million score on each player minimum. So, and yes, that was a DT2. It's not necessarily, well, actually, it's just not going to be the same style as something like this DT4, but I mean, this team can play double time. So this is, like, I want to trust United Kingdom, just simply because they protected it. They've got to have something up their sleeve. They've got to be, like, really confident on this map, so would expect them to perform well, but anything can happen here.
Yeah, and I think the thing about this map is, I think the difficulty is very concentrated in one specific space triple pattern that shows up a bit in the key eyes. I think the rest of the map is generally quite accessible to all teams, and I think it's going to be quite a while until we see much action, and this one also going to be a pretty high-scoring map, I think. I mean, everyone is still holding that 4-way very comfortably. Just like I said, there, Shamui finds the first break for the United Kingdom, and that's going to give the score lead to Brazil here as we move into this first KI. Humster and Sunder trade the breaks, but that's only going to favor Brazil.
It's going to be more misses, though, on the side of Brazil still. Simabuko and Aleph going to be dropping their combos now, just leaving Kawa versus Wiggler now as Dragonfire drops their combo coming out of the end of this KI section. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, just these space triples are so difficult to aim, especially if you're comboing. It kind of adds on with the nerves as well, but we do see 2 players make it through the initial first half of the map here, Kawa versus Wiggler, but better scores so far on United Kingdom. Overall comboing is better, but the combo advantage is actually on the side of Brazil, so we are going to see the score lead start to shift over their way as we do see it finally flip over for the first time in this map.
Yeah, these recoveries are just going to be so important for Brazil, and there's still quite a bit of time for them to escalate those even further before the next KI section here. As it stands right now, Brazil going to be taking that score lead, but as this KI starts, multiple breaks fill the screen. But just look at those 2 FCs, they're still holding, and none of them want to give an absolute inch. It's really just about whether they can hold to the very end here. Both of them are looking so solid right now, and that scoreline is on a nice edge, just 10k, less than 10k separating these teams, but Kawa is unfortunately the one to find the break there at the very end, and that is going to give that DT4 point to the United Kingdom, albeit maybe a little bit much closer, actually, much closer scoreline than they would have liked. But I mean, that is an absolutely incredible score from Wiggler there. 1.16 million on this DT4 is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, just phenomenal scores here from both Wiggler and Kawa. Wiggler top scoring the lobby, matching Kawa all the way to the end, even able to almost get the FC, I believe, that she missed on like the very last note before that spinner. So very tragic, but yeah, I mean, this is how I expected the match to go. I mean, I wasn't expecting a 3-0 start, but I mean 3-0, like if you're just looking at the scoreline, yeah, like United Kingdom, they've won 3 points, but like realistically, both of the United Kingdom's picks so far, it was decided by 16,000 point differential and now just under 60,000 point differential. So Brazil is like always biting at the heels of the United Kingdom, at the very least on their own picks. The fact that Brazil lost on that DT1, it's whatever. It kind of sucks, but like they're very much capable of turning things around when they need to. Just, I mean, given how we've seen them play so far across all 3 of the maps.
Yeah, I mean, being able to almost win United Kingdom's DT4 Protect, just barely losing by less than 100k, just shows that Brazil is still very capable of contesting on these UK picks. And so I think they're just going to need a little bit of luck to make sure the scoreline is on their side. But Brazil is going to be going into the next pick, and they're going to be going into their very own DT2 Protect. I think this is probably about the time you want to use it, right? You're 1 breakpoint down, and you really want to start trying to build that momentum, get a footing in this matchup. And I think this DT2 is going to be the perfect avenue to try and do it, right? DT2 is kind of Brazil's bread and butter. They 4-wayed the DT2, as you mentioned, last week, and I think United Kingdom is just notably a lot weaker on tapping compared to this Brazilian roster. So I think Brazil are definitely going to have a much better time on this. To talk about the map itself, I mean, this one is going to be quite a bit BPM step up from last week, right? Last week we had this Quantum Vortex 9-note burst spam with 228 BPM. This week we're going into 248 BPM, and it's not only a step up in the BPM department, but it's also quite a big step up in regards to the map complexity, right? Last week, you know, you can kind of just brainlessly tap through those pretty simple 9-note bursts. But this time, you know, we've got quite a bit going on, right? We've got linear bursts, we've got very length bursts, and you kind of just have to be on your toes, even if you are comfortable on this BPM to be able to play this map well. And, you know, even though it's going to be much harder for both these teams, I still think Brazil is going to be able to put up a very solid score on this one, right? They just looked so comfortable last week, and I think they're going to be able to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, these are going to be your rosters that these 2 teams have shown throughout any of the previous DT2 maps that have been played through this tournament so far. Both teams actually did play this. Of course, United Kingdom only had 1 match to play in the previous week. They are just now in the losers bracket off of losing that match versus Canada, but yeah, Brazil, I mean, they've been protecting DT2s all throughout the tournament, and they've been performing on them, and this is a very solid team. And so we do see this map kind of start off. It's not too long of the burst so far, but the bursts do really start to pick up, and they do become a lot longer. Stamina really starts to play a major role in this map, and already we've seen multiple misses on the side of the United Kingdom, and still just going to be 1 miss now as we get into the first quarter of the map from Sunda.
I mean, yeah, Brazil was holding that 4-way for a pretty long time, and as more and more breaks come out for the side of the United Kingdom here, Brazil is just taking that score lead pretty comfortably to their side. It's already almost 300k, and we're only a third of the way in the map. And it's just bricks upon bricks for the side of United Kingdom, unfortunately. Brazil is just being able to hold those combos. I mean, Kikuo is still holding that FC, the only FC remaining in the lobby, as everyone else around him finds those bricks. And yeah, I mean, I think this map may just be over right now at the halfway mark. I don't think there's much UK can really do, and I mean, I guess it's to be expected, given that UK is not really a roster that likes the tapping. But I mean, this is just brutal coming from Brazil. What are they doing here? Kikuo is still holding that FC, and that 700k score lead is going absolutely nowhere. You see exactly why they wanted to protect this DT2.
Yeah, and I mean, Brazil, again, proving that they are such a solid mechanics-forward team. Unfortunately, do see that miss from Kikuo, but I mean, the damage has been more than done here for Brazil. This is going to very handily be their first point on the board, albeit a little bit later than I think they would have wanted, but still gonna put a stop to the momentum that United Kingdom had started getting rolling here. But yeah, I mean, just, again, a little unfortunate this week's pool. As far as mechanics goes, this is it. Like, everything else is, I mean, there are mechanics in other maps, but not quite like this. No more speed available to Brazil to really try to abuse versus the UK. So yeah, they are going to secure themselves their first point here, but they're still down that break point, and that was on their own protect that you would expect them to perform well on, which they did. You can't fault that, but yeah, I mean, as far as where Brazil goes next, when it does come back around to their pick, I mean, they're going to have to change things up, I think, here. I mean, maybe we see them go back into the DT3, but I mean, that's for later, I guess. Here, United Kingdom now is going to be their own pick, and they do have plenty of options available to them. Of course, some of those free mods still available, that free mod 2, free mod 3, if they do want to go into those. I think more likely would be more the gimmick. I mean, Nomad 5, Nomad 6 are both open still somehow, so, and nobody's picked them.
Yeah, I think, you know, United Kingdom do have quite a monopoly on this pool as it stands right now. I think I could see them going into pretty much any of these maps, except for maybe stuff like Hard Rock 1, Hard Rock 2, and maybe that Nomad 1. I think, you know, the Nomads are, you still have Nomad 4 in the tech, you still have both of those gimmicks open, you still have Hidden 2 open, and you still have both of those free mods open, which I think both favor the UK quite heavily. They're going to be going into free mod 3, interestingly enough, which I think they just want to keep sending that control, right? This free mod 3 is going to be a lovely custom by Mintleaf, shout out to them, and it's going to be I don't know how to describe this one, honestly. It's very flowy and has a lot of sort of accel decel sort of bursts, but otherwise, you know, it's quite tame. It's quite what you expect from this sort of free mod 3 slot.
Yep, pretty spot on there, William. I think you nailed it exactly. Nothing like too crazy happening with this map, but yeah, is kind of got some flow to it. So United Kingdom, I mean, they are very, very solid when it comes to flow maps, and so this pick makes a lot of sense. Of course, with this tournament though, 4 mods required for the free mods, and one of those mods is required to be a hidden, one is required to be a hard rock, or a hidden hard rock, but either way, those both count as 1 mod each. Easy is allowed. If you do choose to go easy, then it would count as a hidden. And if you choose to go easy hidden, then it counts as 2 mods, but it does not count as a hidden. So you would still need that hidden if you do choose to do that. But I'm not sure if we're going to see any easies here. So most likely we will just see 1 or 2 mods per player for each team here to fill out that requirement.
I think one more thing to talk about here is sort of accessibility on this map, right? I think this map is definitely one of the more tamer ones, just given that it is quite standard, and also definitely not as tricky compared to the other sort of control maps in this pool, like maybe like Hidden 3. So I think, you know, Brazil, if they can replicate their sort of performances on those previous maps, get those narrow score margins, but on their side this time, I think they could contest this one quite easily, honestly. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Early stages of the map, and everyone's looking pretty solid. Some quite early bricks there, but you know, as it stands, everyone is trying to hold that combo. And, you know, this map doesn't really spike anywhere per se. It's kind of just going to be this for the entire match. So really going to test your consistency on these sort of patterns. And multiple breaks come out from the side of Brazil, actually. StormK and Lucani both getting tripped out by these Space Burst patterns just traded by Umaroth on the side of UK. And that's going to keep the score lead in favor of United Kingdom for now. It's just 80k. But I mean, there's still plenty of map left to go.
Yeah, plenty of map, but right now, no combos really to be seen on the side of Brazil. It's Storm kind of starting to work up a little bit of recovery, but they're just now about to reach that 200 combo mark versus two players who are still holding on to the FCs here for the United Kingdom. So, I mean, the longer that this goes on, like, yeah, there's still plenty of the map left remaining to be played, but with that miss from Storm, and I mean, yeah, Brazil just not having anybody remotely close to either of these combos from the UK, I mean, it's already starting to get very, very scary prospects for Brazil on this pick from the United Kingdom. But yeah, more of these spacing patterns, as you said, the XLD cell stuff do appear throughout the map. So like if one person is able to hold on Brazil, I mean, it might help them out a little bit, but it's still just more misses from Brazil.
I mean, Brazil just doesn't seem to have any level of comfort on this map, and as long as those two FCs for the United Kingdom on Shamu and Wiggler keep holding, that score is just gonna keep going towards their side. It's 600k and counting, and really I don't think there's much Brazil can do here, unfortunately. Kawa is holding the biggest combo for his team right now, but I mean, what can you do when the other team is still holding two FCs all the way to the very end of the map? I mean, this is just quite an unfortunate one for Brazil here, but just shows the level of comfort and proficiency that United Kingdom has on these control maps, and it's what we expect from a roster from them. But I mean, damn, this is just an absolute bloodbath from them.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back maps here. Finally, we start to see the real teeth starting to get bared from both these two teams. Both teams really just kind of going all out now, as we do see that two-way FC from Shamui and Wiggler. Very, very good scores here as well, surrounding them from the rest of the UK roster. A decent team score from Brazil, but I mean, yeah, the fact is, it's two FCs to 0. And Brazil, I mean, you do have Kawa doing their best on that reverse choke, but yeah, I mean, it had to be more. It had to be more combos being held from Brazil, and unfortunately, this map just was not favored for them. They did look a lot more worse for wear than United Kingdom, and yeah, that was UK's pick. And yeah, it's very much a UK style of map, but Brazil, I mean, I think I would expect them to go into the Hard Rocks now. I mean, as we saw, we didn't really mention it, but in that free mod, it was 3 hiddens for the United Kingdom and that 1 required Hard Rock versus 3 Hard Rocks from Brazil and that 1 required hidden for them. So obvious Hard Rock preference for a lot of the players on Brazil, and they have looked solid on previous week's Hard Rocks, so I would expect them to start going into the Hard Rocks, but as far as which one, I'm really not sure. And it's going to be that Hard Rock one.
I mean, yeah, Brazil kind of at this juncture need to find an avenue of attack, right? They're very quickly running out of picks that they have just because the raw mechanics has been taken out by the bans and them using their DT2 pick already. So they really need to find some sort of avenue attack. And as you mentioned, I think the Hard Rock pool is going to be a pretty promising angle, right? I think the Nomad pool is a little bit untouchable right now. Hidden, obviously not to Brazil's liking, and Free Mod 2, I think, as well, not really to Brazil's liking. So it's really just this Hard Rock pool, the GT3 and maybe No Mod 1 left up for them. And they're going to be interestingly starting with Hard Rock 1, which I find actually quite interesting for them to be starting with this sort of map, as opposed to Hard Rock 2, which I think could potentially favor them a little bit more. I think to make use of. So, you know, I think while I still think it should be a pretty fine I'm questioning why Brazil haven't Rock 2 pick here instead.
Absolutely.
You're winning as many points as you can on your own picks, especially. We'll just have to hope they can pull this off. And as we get into this first Ki here of the Hard Rock 1 here, Brazil are looking pretty solid here. Multiple players on the side of the United Kingdom have found breaks, so Brazil are going to be taking the pretty early combo advantage into this first section here.
Just a little bit of extra combo on a couple of these players, though. Now, as we do see some more misses coming through, it's going to be Lucani to drop on their recovery. It's still a two-way FC on the side of United Kingdom versus just Storm, but now one of those FCs will fall by the wayside. Hunter, unfortunately, not able to hold through this PI section. But yeah, I mean, the slider aim in this section is quite brutal, and we do see Silva drop their combo. It's going to be traded by Storm, but now it's the highest combos on Mutes, and it's 3 recoveries versus these 2 on Wiggler and Mutes. So that score lead will switch over the way of Brazil, and for the time being, it's going to be very, very close. So any mistakes here, as we do see a couple going into this next PI section, can send it one way or the other, and right now it's back in favor of the UK.
But as Nuix finds the break there, the largest combo for UK, Brazil, with those recovery combos, have the slight combo advantage here, I think. The score lead is still just 50k going to this last of the map, and as Wiggler and Kura and Lucani all find breaks. Now this combo advantage is on the United Kingdom side, and they have that tiny score buffer to work with, 65k into this last of the map. But as Hamster and Silver both find breaks, now it's going to go to Brazil's side, as Katsuro is still holding here the only large combo left in the lobby, and just 30k separates these two teams into this final quarter of the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is all going to be on the shoulders of Katsuro. They have to hold on to their combo for a few more hundred here into the final section of the map. Nerves will probably start to play a little bit of a role here in this final section, but here we go. They do hit the stream, but it's still actually moving slightly the way of the United Kingdom. It's more misses on both Lucani and Kawa as we get into this final section of the map. Despite this combo from Katsuro, I mean, it's going to need to be more misses on the side of the United Kingdom, and Katsuro can't hold on to their combo. Now, Storm too far behind any of the combos on the side of United Kingdom, and we are going to be seeing United Kingdom get another breakpoint here on the Hard Rock 1.
I mean, that's just unfortunate for the side of Brazil here. Once again, so close at taking these points of United Kingdom, but unfortunately always on the wrong side of the coin there. And I mean, Katsuro tried his best, but wasn't able to hold the combo to the very end. And United Kingdom are going to be taking yet another breakpoint on the Hard Rock 1 here. At match point now, and things are looking pretty scary for the side of Brazil here. United Kingdom can just respond with their own pick and potentially close out the match right here, right now. And they have plenty of maps they could do this on, right? They still have, you know, free mod 2, hidden 2 if they want to go into the gimmick, or even both the no mod gimmicks even. And there's still, you know, no mod 4, Hard Rock 3 if they want to go into a more control angle. But honestly, I think at this point, I see them going into the gimmick, right? I think it's quite an untouched territory in this matchup thus far, and I think United Kingdom can feel pretty confident on these sort of gimmick picks. I think Brazil is, you know, while they do have players that can play a gimmick per se, they're not exactly known for their gimmick, and I think United Kingdom is just going to have a much better time on these gimmick maps. So I think United Kingdom is gonna go into the gimmick. I mean, the question is right now, what is Brazil going to go into if they are able to survive this next point, right? I think losing that Hard Rock 1, almost closed those sort of doors, right? I think Hard Rock 3 might be out of the question, and maybe we'll end up seeing that Hard Rock 2, or potentially even a DT3 if Brazil want to go into something more tapping control, I guess. The United Kingdom are just full sending that control train again. They're going to be going into the No Mod 4, this No Mod tech map.
Yeah, a lot to theorize here. If Brazil is able to win this point, but I mean, the fact stands right now, United Kingdom, they have gotten 2 breakpoints over Brazil so far, and they are at match point right now. There's no more safety nets for either of these two teams. If Brazil ends up losing right here, right now, they're out of the tournament. And I mean, despite a fantastic run through the losers bracket here, after being knocked down so early in the tournament, I mean, I don't think this is the way that Brazil wants to go out. I think they're a team much more capable of taking a team like the United Kingdom a little bit further. But right now, yeah, Brazil just not looking their best, unfortunately. And United Kingdom on this No Mod 4 pick, I fear, Will-Am, that this might just be United Kingdom knocking Brazil out of the tournament right here, right now. They are so strong on tech, and I mean, we saw what just happened on that Hard Rock 1. Yeah, it was a little close, but like they're very comfortable when it comes to tech, and this tech map is a lot of sliders here instead of a lot more of the aim. It's a lot of sliders mixed into the things. It's going to be a custom here from Ezreal, so shout outs to this lovely custom. Also, if we didn't mention it, I'm not sure if we did, but we'll do it again if we did. That Hard Rock 1 was also a custom as well here this week. So yeah, a lot of cool maps that these mappers have worked on, but map number 7 now, I mean, it's do or die for Brazil. They can't even lose a single more point.
I mean, with this No Mod 4, right, I mean, it's gonna take a little while to get into the real meat of this map, so we can kind of talk about, Brazil's chances on this one. And honestly, I think, all things considered, despite UK being a incredibly strong tech roster, I think Brazil's chances on this are actually quite good. Purely because this map's difficulty is very concentrated in the last third of the map. And I think it really depends on you being able to hold through this first section here to be able to generate that combo and guarantee yourself a good score on this map. So I think if Brazil is able to pull that off and make their way to the hard section with 4 full combos intact potentially, I think they have a pretty good fighting chance on this sort of map. And I mean, once we get into the KI, we'll see what this map is all about, right? It's all about doubles into slider patterns that Azrock is just known for, and just really wide slider control aim that can be pretty tricky to be consistent on. But I mean, as it stands right now, I mean, things are looking pretty stagnant actually. Just some early breaks to the side of UK, which is really what Brazil wants actually at this stage, right? That's going to severely limit the amount of combo that they can get going into the final section. Actually, Umeroth as well going to be finding the break. It's just Humpster with the FC and Wiggler on that recovery combo, and this is really exactly what Brazil wants. And as Humpster, the last full combo for the side of United Kingdom falls, just trade out by Simabuko. Brazil are going to be walking into this last third of the map with 3 full combos intact and a 150k score buffer.
I mean, it was looking grim for Brazil here after all of these close picks, but right now it's on the United Kingdom's pick, and yeah, we do see Simabuko finding another miss, but it's still 3 players holding onto their combos going into the final third of the map here for Brazil, versus just the lone combo on Wiggler on that recovery. And yeah, Brazil, they are looking so comfortable here on this No Mod 4. despite all of our doubts here, expecting United Kingdom to come out on top, right now it's Brazil who are just overperforming and exceedingly well right now. One of those 3 combos is going to be dropping on Katsuri, but you still have Kao and Storm holding on to their combos, and Wigor will fall. Unfortunately, that was going to be the final big combo gone now for United Kingdom. It does get traded out by Storm, but I mean, yeah, when everything's on the line here for Brazil, they are finding their own footing in this match now. Even if just for a little bit, they do get one of those breakpoints back. It's still going to be a tough battle here from here on out, but I mean, this is the start. This is what they needed to do. They needed to be able to win this point to keep themselves in this tournament for just a little while longer. And yeah, just some phenomenal scores here from Brazil.
I mean, yeah, Brazil gonna be getting that second chance at survival here, just winning that No Mod 4 pretty comfortably, and I think kind of exactly as I said, right? They were able to hold those large combos until the very end, where the difficulty really ramped up, whereas UK just finding those unfortunate breaks at the start. And Brazil gonna be taking a break point of United Kingdom there on this No Mod 4, but I mean, even now that they've done that, the question is, what do they go for, right? I think, I think I'm looking at the Hard Rock 2 and maybe even the GT3 or maybe the No Mod 1. But I think, the options are certainly running out for Brazil, and on any of these picks that I've described, I can easily see UK taking it back, just given how close these 2 teams are. So Brazil really need to pick carefully, right? They still have 2 whole picks ahead of them to try and make it all the way to tiebreaker. And, when the pool is in this sort of board state, it's hard, right? Like, all of these maps just seem very winnable by United Kingdom here, and it's just hard when you haven't really had any solid sort of angles into this match, unlike with UK, who have just been constantly throwing that control at them, right? They've just been throwing control map after control map and winning them quite consistently. Just that No Mod 4 was very unlucky here. Yeah, Brazil is going to be taking a timeout, which, I mean, makes a lot of sense, right? They want to really deliberate over these final few picks, because it is their last chance at survival in this match and in this tournament. So really got to make every pick here count.
Yeah, I mean, timeout. It's very much expected here for Brazil. As you said, this is do or die for them. And they have to win not only their next pick, but they also have to somehow survive the final pick from United Kingdom. And if they're able to do that, then they still have to win another pick. So I imagine that they're not only just trying to figure out what's a good pick right now, but also, I mean, especially if you're in the situation, right, versus some of the best players in 5-digit tournament scene here in the world, for Brazil, like, you want to prove that you are more than capable of going toe-to-toe with these players here from the United Kingdom. So deciding on not only what your next pick is going to be, but also potentially trying to figure out, where United Kingdom might go with their own pick if Brazil is able to win their next pick. And then also, you got to have players being able to be prepared for what will be the final pick of Brazil if that does go that way. So, I mean, there's a lot to think about here. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to think about all the different scenarios and all the different lines that they could go down here with just this short 2-minute timeout period. But yeah, I mean, this is it for them, right? This pick has to matter. I think likely contenders, as you mentioned, Hard Rock 2, very solid contender for them. DT3, I think, could potentially also work very well. Of course, we did talk about earlier, very early on in the match, how United Kingdom might actually just be very solid on that DT3 as well. So that one, I think, is a little less certain for me. Steer clear of that No Mod 5, No Mod 6. They're both very gimmick forward. I think probably United Kingdom will be picking into one of those two for their final pick, if we do get to see that. But Yeah, that it was had to be between that Hard Rock 2 and that DT3, and we do see them go into the DT3 here to try to get themselves a third point, to try to maintain themselves in this tournament for just a little while longer.
This DT3 pick here is quite interesting. I think this is a bit of a high-level play here from Brazil, because I'm very curious as why they haven't wanted to go into the Hard Rock 2 when we've constantly been bringing it up, right? It's the sort of map that on paper is going to really favor them, just because, you know, it's Hard Rock, it has a quite prominent tapping element, and it's just very conventional, no real control elements. But I think what Brazil are trying to do here is save that pick for later, right? They want to get the more risky pick out of the way so that, you know, when they hopefully get to the point where they're 5-4 down, they can just throw that Hard Rock 2 pick and feel more safe about getting to tiebreaker. Because, you know, if you were 5-4 and you had no good picks, in that sort of scenario, you're going to be very nervous and potentially going to underperform. So I think what Brazil's doing here with this DT3, arguably a very risky pick, I think they just want to try and save that Hard Rock 2 for later. This DT3 gonna be, you know, a kind of control hybrid, right? It has, you know, a pretty solid finger control element to it, but it also has quite a noticeable aim control element. Right? There's a lot of these really tricky, just like small micro aim control patterns that I think can really trip you off, and I'm very interested in who is going to be able to perform well in this, because, you know, I think it's a bit of a not really seen skill set in this tournament so far, and it's very hard to be consistent on it, right? One thing to know about this map is that it's so long, and to get a good score you really need to be able to hit these aim control patterns consistently. So we'll just have to see what one of these rosters is able to do that better. I mean, this one is going to be a real endurance test, as I mentioned, so strap in, and we'll just have to see if Brazil is going to be able to survive to live another day.
Yeah, with 3 minutes 40 seconds, it's definitely one of the longer maps here in the DT pool, if not the longest, I think, actually. But yeah, a lot of finger control, as you said. Really just about maintaining your aim control as well. I mean, it's not all just the finger control, but that is a major portion of the map. And we have seen just a couple of breaks at the very, very beginning of the map. Slight score advantage going to be on the side of the United Kingdom for the time being, but there's so much map left to be played. And I mean, stamina could also potentially come into play here. Yeah, it's a little bit on the lower side of BPMs as far as double times go, but with the amount of finger control that you have to maintain, stamina definitely can come into play, especially given how long the map is. So could potentially see a lot more of the misses come through towards the end of the map. But yeah, right now we're getting into the first TI section, and just only those few misses very early on. We do finally see another break come through from Kawa, but no trades to be seen on the side of the United Kingdom, as now down goes LFT on Brazil as well, and Wiggler will trade that out, but it's still going to be 2 misses on the side of Brazil versus just the 1.
Yeah, the combo advantage is securely on the side of United Kingdom as we get out of that first PI here. Hamster, Shamui, and NeoX all holding those massive combos, and it's just StormK and Lucani to try and contest. And that score lead is really just going to be going towards UK's side as long as they can keep holding, right? It's 200k and counting, and really just doesn't look to be going anywhere. These combos just look so stable, and they don't want to give an inch. We really need to see some action if Brazil wants to take this back, but there's only 1/3 left in this match, and time is running out. I hate to say it.
I'm definitely starting to become a factor here, as we do see one more of those massive combos down for Brazil, and make that both of the major combos now gone for Brazil. Storm and Lucani going to be dropping the last remaining FCs. Now it's just Kawa on a little bit of recovery here. 600 combos to their name, but it's not going to be even close to the combos that United Kingdom are holding right now. Even if all 3 of those players miss, I mean, I feel like 600,000 points going into the final quarter of the map, I think it's too much here, and unfortunately, I do believe this is going to be goodbye for Brazil.
Yeah, just really unfortunate here for Brazil, but just look at this UK performance here, still holding 3 massive combos into the very end here. 900k score lead, and that's, you know, 3 million team score for the side of United Kingdom here. And yeah, as you mentioned, unfortunately, we're gonna have to be saying goodbye to Brazil here. Just very unfortunate stuff, I think. You know, a lot of the maps were just so close. And really, I think on another day, potentially, they could have gotten a lot further in this match than the 6-2 scoreline suggests here. I mean, as this DT3 draws to a close, it's going to be Nuex to lock it out with the FC. Hamster find the break at the very end. And that's just an absolutely insane team score for this side of United Kingdom here. Going to be closing out the match 6-2, and they're going to be moving forward in the semi-finals losers bracket to face either South Korea or Australia. Going to be a pretty interesting one, I think. Excited to see how that one goes.
Yeah, that match will be taking place at 9 UTC on Sunday. So either, well, I mean, you know what your time zones are. For me, it's very, very early in the morning. I will not be able to watch it. But yeah, that'll be the match to decide who United Kingdom will end up facing. As far as future matches go, of course, it would be the winner of that South Korea versus Australia to play against United Kingdom. That match will happen regardless of who the winner is, sometime on Sunday, either 11:30 UTC or 12 UTC. And then also have Philippines versus Germany in the winners bracket. That will happen at 14 UTC Sunday, and then a little bit later at 14:45 UTC, quite an odd number, is going to be the Russian Federation versus Chile. So yeah, just a few more matches left here in the semifinals weekend, and I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much, William, for joining me here in the commentary. Congratulations to United Kingdom for making it just one more match further into this tournament. GG, well played to Brazil. They gave it their heart and soul in this match. 6-2 really didn't quite feel like 6-2, unfortunately. A lot of close points, as you mentioned. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. William, you got any closing words for us?
Not really. I'm just, you know, very devastated that this match was not a tiny bit closer, I guess. I mean, that 6-2 scoreline really does not capture the full story here. And yeah, we're just gonna have to unfortunately say goodbye to